Hello everyone, Coming Clean here. Thank you very much in helping me reach the milestone of 300 subscribers. The support I get from you guys is the reason I keep releasing content every week, so thank you so much. I want to celebrate with you guys with an unboxing video. If gameplay is more your thing, then jump to the timestamp shown on the screen right now. Okay, let's get to the unboxing. You see, Amazon recently opened up here in Sweden, and on their website I found something that I really can't believe was still available in an unopened box. Because here in my box I have an unopened Thumpin Wumpa Islands Adventure Pack, featuring of course the senseis Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neo Cortex. I'm very excited to have gotten my hands on this pack. You may think that I should wait 30 years and keep it in this unopened box and then sell it for $1 million, but that's really not my thing, because I think that toys are supposed to be played with. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna pop these two senseis on the portal right now. I'm gonna play with them for a while, and after that I'm gonna give you my impressions on both the senseis and the Thumpin Wumpa Islands Adventure Pack. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to start off with Crash himself. I suppose I would have to admit right away that other than Crash Team Racing, the last Crash game I played was Crash Bandicoot 3 that was released 23 years ago for the original PlayStation. N. Sane Trilogy and Crash 4 seem like great titles that I hopefully will have the time to check out eventually. Crash certainly looks like he does in his own titles, but he's not controlled the same way as in the original trilogy. I'm not familiar with the beat-em-up style Crash titles that I think inspired his moveset in Imaginators, but I am familiar with Andy's and Skylander's moveset, so let's get right into that. Crash is a sensei of the life element and the brawler battle class. His main attack is a 3-hit combo that ends with his signature spin attack that damages enemies all around you. This move can be upgraded to be extended by mashing the attack button. The damage potential with the extended spin attack is great, but your movement during the animation is very slow and can make you an easy target. Crash's second ability is a quick slide attack. This move is an excellent way to approach your enemies to get in range for your short-reaching main combo, even though I found myself using it just as much as an escape option, as it can cancel Crash's main attack at any time during the combo. After purchasing the appropriate upgrade, you can hold the secondary attack button to make Crash do a backflip attack that launches him and his enemies into the air. In the air you can press the attack button again to perform a downward kick attack, or you can press the main attack button to make Crash do an aerial spin attack. By pressing the third attack button in the air, Crash body slams to ground for an AoE ground pound attack. This move is powerful, damages all enemies around you, but has a very long recovery animation during which you are vulnerable. This move should be used with caution and is most useful for finishing enemies off or to engage multiple weaker enemies. On the ground though, his third attack has the most utility in his entire moveset. By pressing the button once, you throw a TNT box in front of you. The box explodes and deals instant damage to any enemy it hits, but if it doesn't connect, it stays put on the ground. You can kick it with your secondary attack to send it away in a straight line, essentially giving Crash a quite far-reaching ranged attack. If you strike the box with your main attack, however, it starts to glow and spins around you. It damages any enemy it connects with, and you can also launch it away, even though I find it quite difficult to be consistent with the aim. If you are forced to be on the defensive though, I found throwing a box as you make an escape and then striking it to be a great tactic, as it damages your pursuers without you having to turn around to attack them. Crash has multiple lives that he can spend before ultimately being defeated. If you die with at least one life left, Crash respawns and the Aku Aku mask deals damage to all enemies around you. Crash's Sky Chi attack makes him invulnerable but stuck in place, as you can throw his yo-yo around him for high damage. His Soul Gem ability is one of his most enjoyable moves to use. A special box is randomly spawned in any of the boxes Crash throws, and picking up the weapon that inside launches Crash into the air for a limited time, as you can freely attack enemies on the ground. His top upgrade path enhances his spin attack, and the bottom one his box attacks. I chose the latter since the TNT boxes emphasize the tactical aspects of this character. It lets you throw multiple boxes that deal smaller damage, plus the ability to jump on a box to make it explode. Crash is a sensei that can feel very straightforward and easy to grasp at first. You will however soon realize that to make the most out of him you will have to make smart approaches into engagements to fully compensate for his main attack's short range. Learning to make the most out of his TNT boxes is also key in being successful with Crash. Moving on to Dr. Neo Cortex. Cortex is a sorcerer sensei of the tech element, and according to his title he has a PhD in something. He is also a long-range character with a focus on keyboard tactics and the use of various gadgets. His main attack fires his blaster for moderate damage. His secondary attack manifests the Uka Uka mask in front of him as it pushes enemies away, giving Cortex a much-needed tool to increase the distance between him and short-range enemies. Cortex's third attack has him lobbing a mine in front of him. The mines can be used offensively as they explode as they come into contact with enemies. If you don't hit anything, the mine stays put on the ground and explodes if enemies get too close. The mines can be upgraded to spawn another mine as soon as it connects with any surface. It's also possible to create a combo with the mines, as enemies can bounce from one mine to the next as they are damaged by the first one. Holding the third attack button makes Cortex jump on his hoverboard, significantly increasing his movement speed. You can fire your blaster normally, but any mines you throw will be shot out of the rear of the hoverboard. This makes them a bit more tricky to aim, but at the same time it also gives you a way to damage enemies behind you, or at the very least put out a minefield to use strategically once you get off the board. After a certain amount of time, an explosion animation plays out and the hoverboard disappears. You can also manually trigger the hoverboard to disappear by pressing the third attack button. Either way, this leaves you momentarily defenseless, and you therefore have to be careful with your positioning when getting off the board. One of Cortex's upgrade paths enhances the way you can use the Uka Uka mask, but since I personally prefer a strategic approach, the Gadgets Galore upgrade path sounded more appealing. His secondary attack can now spawn an end trophy staff that creates a force field under which enemies move much more slowly. This allows you to keep groups of enemies away from you while you engage other foes, or you can more easily hit enemies in the field with your blaster or mines. The staff itself also launches sparks at random, and if you're hit by them yourself, Cortex's blaster projectiles are enhanced for a limited time. Finally, we have his Sky Chi and Soul Gem abilities. His Sky Chi ability fires a giant laser from the skies that you can control yourself. I personally like that this isn't a button mash to damage all enemies around you type of ability, but instead you have to master it to maximize its potential. His Soul Gem ability lets Cortex transform his blaster into a staff that can launch enemies into the air, where you can continue to attack them with your normal blaster attacks. Dr. Neo Cortex's biggest weakness is his low defense stat. He does, however, have a huge amount of tools to use to make enemies never come close enough to take advantage of this. If you put in the time to master every aspect of his toolkit, you'll probably have a lot of fun with Cortex. So what about the Thumpin Wumpa Island level? You have seen some gameplay from it during the course of this video. It's quite a lengthy level with a cozy jungle design. The most eye-catching feature is of course that the breakable objects on this level are almost exclusively boxes that are very recognizable from another certain Activision-owned franchise. You can also bounce on the boxes in a similar fashion as that of the Crash games. The premise of the level is that Cortex wants to use the rhythms of the island to power his Cortex Matrix chamber, but fake Crash gets in his way, giving you an incentive to play as either Crash or Cortex. The level has an obvious music theme with dancing NPCs and rhythm puzzles all throughout it. This musicless footage really doesn't do it enough justice. So is the Thumpin Wumpa Island Adventure Pack worth investing in? In my opinion, the level itself plus the two senseis are all very enjoyable to play, so if you find it for a reasonable price, I'd say you should go for it. Those are my impressions of the Thumpin Wumpa Islands Adventure Pack. Once again, thank you very much for helping reach 300 subscribers. Your support is very important to me, and I really hope that you'll enjoy all the future content I have planned as well. That's actually it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Coming Clean, and I will see you next time. Take care.